Hi there, this is Doreen. I am filming, videotaping a Flowish Junk Journal. This is for the Boho Flowish swap, and my swap partner is Sharon Rock. So this is what she's getting. I made up a cover that is like a traveler's notebook, so this is like an extra large size traveler's notebook. And I'm sorry I have to hold the camera while I do this, so forgive me for the shaking and issues. But I wanted to add a little charm on there. This is a group of ribbons that are there just for the beauty of the ribbons, and I made it so that they are pinned on with a safety pin, and Sharon can take those off and use them on another project if she'd like to. The cover, I'll get this undone. The cover is made from a decorative top that I had, and rather than throwing it out, I decided to make use of it for this swap. So I cut it up, and this is the front. It has got all kinds of shiny crystals on it, so it looks very pretty. I did add some decorative stitching to follow through and make it pretty. The back side, I have ribbons, some different satin ribbons, and some, not sure what that ribbon is. It looks almost like burlap. But I went ahead and did some decorative stitches with my sewing machine, and this is a metallic ribbon that you can see the sparkle. And so all the stitches on the ribbon, and as with all covers, notebooks, just flipped over again, I put rivets, or if they're eyelets, maybe eyelets, to run the elastic cords through. So it has this outside piece of elastic to close it up, and then inside, when you open it, the cover is actually stitched down and then glued to cardboard, and then I used this pretty shiny material that I had, and it had the wrinkles in already. And I thought, well, that'll be good because it'll cover up any mistakes I make, but I like the little metallic shine that it has. I have, I'm not one who has a lot of the old type of collector paper, the vintage paper, which I received from Sharon. She gave me so much of that. So mine are not very old, but they're from a variety of different places. This was from a book called How to Be Kind, and so there's a couple pages in. And because I wanted to make it flowish, they're all just looped through the ribbons. See if you can see that, or the loop through the elastics. So when we get to the center, I'll point that out. I have some paper, decorative paper from a pattern book, and some other little goodies tucked in all around. This one is a piece from a candy, Russell Stover's candy package with other goodies in there, and a little gold foil doily along with the other tan one. This is from a printout that I made when I do that antique bobbin lace, and this is a printout, and it's got all the pinholes because I actually used this one and made a piece of lace from that. And while I was making the lace, I heard this quote, and I just loved it, so I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it. And it says, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. And that's a quote from Mark Twain. So, Sharon, if you're interested in vintage bobbin lace, this is a pattern on how they make it. There's lots of pages in here that I went and looked up the word bohemian online and wrote down the definition of that. I'm going to slip that in for you also, because I had to think about what does bohemian actually mean, and whether I hit the mark on this one, we'll find out. But anyway, that was one thing I found, and looking online, I found all kinds of other really interesting things that I thought fit in well. And so there are some printouts of a variety of different things. Extra stamps, printouts tissue paper picture that I thought looked really good for food. This is from a painting. It's called The Bohemian Girl, and I really like that image, so I printed that out for you. And on this side, I used some of that fabric to do a little ruffle edge. There's a piece here of that doily that you can use, and some stickers. I like birds, so I added those. This is a small tag that I made for you, Sharon. And you can see I did the letter S on the brad for that. That's for you, Sharon. And so I have tissue paper, another printout talking about Bohemian. You'll see these online if you go look up Bohemian information. The back side of that bobbin lace. And then this is the back side of that Russell Stover candy. Just dumb little papers added in there just to give you an extra variety of things to work with. And I made a lot of these things so you could undo the staples if you want to take them out or use them for other things. More of the back side of that book. And on this side, this is I learned how to make these stars, and I wanted to show you how to do that. It said that when Betsy Ross made up our U.S. flag, she encouraged them to use stars because she knew how to cut them with one snip of her scissors. So in this instance, what I did, Sharon, if you want to see how to do these, I don't know, it's probably online also, but this one makes a 5-pointed star. And so I wrote on there in the instructions that you fold it in half, and then step 2, you fold this one over, and so it forms 3 little sections. So you just fold it so it's in thirds. Fold that third over, and then fold that in half. And you're going to find there's one side here that you want to cut a long snip there. And when you open it, of course, you get that 5-pointed star. This one is how to do a 6-pointed star. And so the same kind of thing, let me set that aside. Same kind of thing. This is a little awkward with one hand. But you take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and this time, when you fold this over, you're folding it so that you're left with 2 sides that are equal. You know, you're folding it to, actually, think of it as thirds, but fold it so you have 2 equal sides, and fold that one in half, and then fold that one in half again. And then on the long side that has this big long fold, you'll see you do one snip this way, and it'll snip and form a 6-sided star. So depending on the ways you want to do that, there's your instruction. A 6-sided star, a 6-pointed star, and then this one was the 5-pointed star. So if that's confusing, I'm sorry, but there's probably instructions online on how to do that. And of course, on the flag, these would be much smaller, which Betsy Ross would have had to been very careful in the fact that she had to do so many. Okay, so moving on, we like to eat rice with gravy and meat, and so I get a lot of this jasmine rice. I love this rice, and it has these really hefty-duty bags with Ziplocs, and so I have tons of these I've saved for whatever stupid reason, and inside I've got a variety of different things in here, so you can see that, and I'm going to try to move along. These were in the category of boho. Online when I was looking, I thought that bag was very, very lovely. I like this ruffle that's in there, and had I been more diligent, I would have made you one, Sharon, because I think they're beautiful. This one is also very pretty. All the fringe for boho, and trying to fit in with that. To me, this is from a modern sewing pattern, but I thought, oh, that looks pretty boho. And here, that one's not quite so boho, but it's kind of fun. From the book on how to be kind, a couple more sheets on that. This is what I was talking about when you use that elastic on those traveler's notebooks. And so these are run into the rivets. And when you get it, Sharon, you want to take it all apart and see how it's made, you'll figure it out. And there's lots of YouTube videos on how to do those. Another lovely bag that I thought was very pretty. It had lots of fringe and lots of lots of fabrics and things. This is the back side of that bag, and what I did here is I opened the top to put more stuff inside there for you. And then a little bit of this tissue paper that I had this music. And this is a little bag that has goodies in it. It's been a while since I put it in there, so I don't remember what's in there. I think you'll enjoy it, though. I just looked all through my stash. Another one of those bird stickers, and this is a Bohemian printout from online. I enjoy collecting buttons, and I used to be in a group that collected vintage buttons. This is an old flyer for button sale, and you'll see it's dated in 2003. You would find it really interesting. I don't know if you're into buttons or not, but all the fancy buttons that are out there for collectibles. This is a paper clip I made for you, Sharon, and just something fun. I thought that looked kind of boho-ish. And then this is a printout from online, and I have it sealed right now, but there's a package of goodies there for you. And underneath there, a map that they say is a map of Bohemia, also from online. And these are some stickers that I did that one paper clip with, some extras for you. They're made of felt and little beads and things. This is how to do flowers from that pattern book. And one of those flowers here. I put these on with staples if you want to tear them apart and use them for something else. But I just thought it'd be kind of fun to have a bunch of other things there, just for decorative edge on that page. The back side of that button journal, or a button brochure. And it shows all kinds of interesting buttons, and below the buttons it tells what how those are made and of what they're made and the years and stuff. This is a little pocket that I have some other little things stuck in there, and an advertising for garments for nurses, and I stitched on this and put a few things in there. These are some crystals, rhinestones for you, and some cards that I laced the edge with a paper punch for you to do some things with. This is some of my antique buttons. These, my sister sent me a whole bunch of these old buttons. Apparently in her town, it was an old town in Iowa, there in the basement of one of the old stores, it used to be a Woolworth's years ago, they found boxes and boxes of these buttons, and they just put them up in a yard sale, and she grabbed the whole lot of them. So it was a lot of fun to get these from her, and so there's those buttons, and more of the tissue paper. I came across a, I don't know if those are called for someone, a notary public. Apparently, this was at an old antique shop. They didn't get rid of it, and somebody resold it for a couple bucks in an antique shop. I don't know if it's legal to have that or not, but it's old, it's outdated, but I thought that was interesting. And so I've been stamping with that notary public seal on a bunch of things. How to make lace on my embroidery machine. That was a printout. I did a goofed on that, and that's an extra I would have thrown away. And I thought, well, maybe you'll like that. Another one of those button brochures. This is from 2004, and these are vintage buttons. Very pretty. This one's actually a fold over multiple pages, and so those are real interesting. And maybe you want to cut around those circles and use those in some of your books if you're making journals. More of that How to Be Kind book. And while I was looking, I saw this gorgeous. I'm going to pull this one out. I thought this was very, very pretty. It's a bag, fur on the bottom and jewels on the top with that clasp. At some point, I want to make one of these. But anyway, I thought you might like that, and that's part of your book. I'll stick that in later. But there's some more there. That one is very, very pretty. All the vintage lace and fringe, very boho-ish. And there's a couple other ones here. I'll let you look through those rather than me digging them all out right now. This one's a leather bag with the fringe. Okay, we'll just stick that back in there. So another one of those prints, and this, I put some goodies inside this. I printed out that bohemian thing, and there's some little goodies in there for you, Sharon. I'll let you look through those. Some paper lace, piece of paper there with the roses. The back side of that button pusher, and my lace. And here I stitched on some more stuff. My husband had his zipper fell off of one of his jackets, so I used that as trim. Of course, I finished off a jar of jelly, and this was from that the shirt I cut up from the front of this book. And then to throw in a few extras, some embroidered butterfly on this tool. You can use that in one of your projects. And then this is the back side of this one, and again, there is some goodies in there. And more of those cardboard papers that I did lace on the back side, and then another card, those buttons. These are different from the other card. Buttons. But I thought you might want to have that. And then in this batch, this is years ago, I used to do craft sales when my kids were little, and this is a leftover from what I had, and I thought, well, that's fun. You can have one of those. It's a pin, and so you can see the pin there. I used to make bunches of these, and I always liked them. Here again, I used an envelope with some goodies inside there, Bohemia, and this is a notebook I was going to do for one of my traveler's notebooks, and I realized after it was all done, I did it in the wrong size. I thought, well, Sharon might be able to use that. And so this is just plain paper though, so hopefully you'll make a use of that or decorate it all up however you like. And that's in the back, this back flap for your book. Okay, so let me set these aside. I did do a few other extras for you. And according to the swap, we had to have an elephant and some beads and a variety of different things. So I didn't have an elephant. I decided to embroider you one. And so you can make use of this. It's on, I think this is polyester satin. Or I'm not sure what that is. But this satin. And so you can use that. Going through my other stash of goodies, I have some buttons and a variety of different things here in this bag for you. A bunch of laces and trims, and that beaded fringe as your beaded items. There's a lot of things I thought would be appropriate here for you if you want to make some things, some different tools. This is a sparkly felt and some lace fabric. This very thin shiny piece, more shiny tulle and lace. Some of these are I think this one might be silk. That one I know is silk. That's a they call that Dupioni silk. Piece of that one. This is what I used inside your front cover, and you can see the sparkle and shine on that. And I told you in the messaging that I was making a second one of these books for me, and mine I did the brown. It was going to be either yours or mine, and I thought, well, I like the blue better, so I put that on yours. But I thought you might be able to use my scraps on that. A little piece of, this is actually really like upholstery fabric. And then I had this, and I thought you might be able to make use of this on making another journal as a front cover perhaps, or on something else, or pillow, or whatever you want. But I was playing with my embroidery software for a class I taught years ago on how to arrange lettering and images in the software. And so this was a sample piece that I made up for that class. But hopefully you'll be able to make use of that. Okay, well, I appreciate being your partner. I really enjoyed the items you sent to me, and you did really well with your boho journal that you sent to me. I really like having all that to go through. You put so much effort into that. and I really appreciate your work, Sharon. I hope you like mine. Thanks so much.